To another Talk to Me Tuesday night.
We're hanging out with Toomey with Talk to Me Podcast. This is David from Dead.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another Talk to Me episode with our good friend Rob Rivera from Nonpoint. Rob, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing, sir? About to walk upstairs.
I'm doing well. Doing well. All right,
Sorry.
we're gonna do
there
that.
We go.
But Rob is going to be on. There we go. Rob. There we go. Rob is on to talk about Nonpoint's 20 years of making a statement this Saturday, October 10th, and you can get all your information at nonpoint.com. Rob, tell me more about your live thing going on.
Well, we've been rehearsing for the last 3 months. For this, we got this idea pre-pandemic. Back in January, I texted Elias and saying, "Hey, it's 20 years of a statement this year. We let's do something. We have planned possibly a couple shows, but obviously this was before the whole world went crazy. But super excited, man. We're going to be doing it live in Chicago, and the guys have rehearsed these songs, have put their heart and soul into it, man. And the cool thing about it, it's going to be very authentic because on those recordings, there are 2 guitars recorded, even though we had 1 guitar player. So people are going to actually be able to hear the 2 guitar parts live for the first time. So I'm pretty excited for sure.
Yeah, man, going back, listening to Statement today, just kind of getting ready for this, man. What a banger of a debut album. That was a start to finish, man. It's not a lot of filler on that.
Oh, thank you, man. It's a lot of those songs were put together like, say a half the record was written, 3 years prior from playing locally. And then we wrote like 5 new songs after, we got signed and whatnot. We wrote 5 new songs for the album. And actually the song I just busted you on backup. That was the first song we wrote for that record, actually.
Wow.
And it was really cool, man, and we went, I remember in May when we started rehearsing and I started listening to it, I was like 30 years old, but when I recorded that album, I'm 50 now. So trying to play a song like Mind Trip was not easy, it's like, man, when I wrote that song with the guys, I was 27. So I'm trying to play a 27-year-old me at 50 and trying to figure out, it's like, what the heck was I thinking about back then but I pulled it off, man. I dove in and I said, okay, I think I can do this. And there's a lot of footwork on that record and rehearsing those songs. My legs were on fire, what I'm saying? Like they were hurting bad, but, the last couple of rehearsals have been really strong, very energetic, and the guys have put their heart and soul into the record. So we're very excited to bring this album. The best case scenario would have been having the guys that recorded that album be involved in this, but unfortunately, both of those guys have retired from music. So we said, but we have the, top-notch guys that are gonna put their heart and soul into us. I'm stoked, man.
One thing I've listening to you and listening to your albums, and actually it's kind of funny going back and listening to an album like Statement and remembering where I was at the time when I first heard Statement. I was doing pre-production for this girl named Lennon. She was on Arista Records. I was playing bass for her. She got like an advanced copy of Statement, and she like threw it at me at the rehearsal studio. She's like, this is something you'll probably really like. And I was like, cool. And I checked it out later on the day, and it was true. It was like, this is actually something I really like hearing, like What a Day and stuff like that, kind of back in 2000.
Yeah, I mean, that song has definitely still to this day, like when we play it, the crowd goes nuts. And it's amazing because we have gained a lot of new fans over the years, that have gone back, even as recently as releasing our last album, X, have gone back in time and bought all those records. So that song still resonates to this day, like it's still a live staple in our set. I think it's only been 3 times in our career that we've never played it. So
Wow.
it's one of those it's one of those songs.
Yeah, I think it's also Endure is probably one of my favorite Nonpoint songs on that one too.
Yeah, I like that one. My best memory of that song is when we did the video and we did it on Ozfest, and we had Chester and David Draymond, the guys from Drowning Pool, Union Underground dudes, Crazy Town guys. There's a bunch of guys in the video that were on the tour that agreed to be in the video, and that was and it was done in a course of 3 days by our buddy Matt Bass, and it was a great time, man. That was one of the best tours of my life, and that was on that cycle, on the Statement cycle. So that's one of those songs, that another song in our set that just like people just want to hear, and I
Yeah.
just love playing it too. So,
One thing I've always wanted to ask you kind of over the years is, 30, 20 years ago in music was, might have been 1,000 years old. So, what kept you kind of going to just to keep going ahead and to keep trying and keep pursuing music?
well, I mean, from the first time I saw a band play live, which was this band called Cardinal Sin. They were like a metal band. I saw them in Puerto Rico, my friend's living room, a birthday party they played. And from then on, at that point in my life, baseball was my passion, and still is. But once we went to that party, I saw those guys play. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I just never gave up. And still to this day, I share that passion. I still have that passion for music, and I don't know. I just love playing music, man. Even when we rehearsed these past 3 months, it's just been like I'm like a kid again. It's like it feels good to play music, and I get into it just like I do at the shows. I play hard every single time, and it's I just love playing music, man, and I just don't see myself doing anything else. Basically, because I don't know how to do anything else. So I stuck to what I know.
Nice. The getting the album, the record deal, how was that for you back then? What are your memories of that?
The memories of that was we were playing locally, and we played this festival called the Zeta Fest, and they had a local stage, and Def Leppard was actually headlining that show with like Veruca Salt or Sponge, I think. I don't even remember who else was on the show. So we played the second stage, and when we were playing, my former manager Jason Beeler, he was there. He was in a band called Super Transatlantic. They were headlining that second stage, I believe. And so he came up to us and like, yeah, I heard riffs and beats. That's what he said. That's exactly the quote he said. I heard riffs and beats. And then he gave his number to Elias, exchanged numbers. And when I got home from work on that Monday, the 2 days later, there was a message from him. And he came to our rehearsal that night, and we started talking, and we stayed in touch. And he, had friends in the industry from his time in Saigon Kick, and so he hooked us up with Hans Haydout from MCA. He came down to see us doing a Battle of the Bands from the Warped Tour. Do you remember those? Did those
Oh
Battle of
yeah,
the Band? We actually won and got to play Warped Tour.
there you go.
And then Hans said, "Hey, continue to work with Jason." And we did, and then like 7 months later or something like that, we signed a deal. And this was '99 that he quote unquote discovered us, and then in March of 2000 we signed the deal with MCA, and we started like recording the record, and it was a fun time, man. It was like, wow, I can't believe this is happening to me, type of deal.
Did you have any pushback from working with Jason, being his past being in Saigon Kick?
No, I mean he had really good ideas. I mean, I was never really a fan of Saigon Kid. I never, outside of "Love Is on the Way" and the song "Hostile Youth," I didn't know anything else. I didn't purchase any records. All I saw was the videos on MTV. But I knew he had success, and we started working with him. He had great ideas. He convinced me to work with a click track, because obviously I had to record with a click track. I'd never played to a click track before. And that was pretty easy to learn, actually. That was fun. but no pushback. Like nobody said, "Why are you working with Jason?" Nothing like that. It's just he was a local guy in South Florida who had incredible success, and he wanted to help out another Florida band. So and it worked out. I mean, he helped us, got us on our way. We were with him for 10 years, and still good friends with him today. But no real pushback. No.
And the record label Beeler Brothers, is there more than one Beeler brother? Or is it just Jason and an imaginary brother?
No, there's Aaron. Aaron, who was actually
Okay.
Saigon Kick's tour manager.
Oh, okay.
And then he was, when we were with the Beeler Brothers, he was in charge of the touring side of our business. And then Jason was in charge of the label side and all the business deals and stuff like that. So, but they worked well together. It was a good relationship.
Jason is probably one of the best social media follows out there.
Yeah, he is funny.
He's got such a great sense of humor.
He is super funny. He is super funny.
He was at
funny.
Yeah, he was at one of the last Rockin' Pods, and he was making his rounds, and instant fan favorite of everyone there.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, they had great success. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that Saigon Kick had a gold record. With I believe it was the Lizard. I think that was song that was on the way on. He had incredible career with Saigon Kick. So
now, what was doing the recording process of Statement? What do you remember maybe the most about it, and just obviously recording your debut album? Those thoughts and feelings.
We did that in Boca Raton, Florida. It's called Elysium Fields, with Keith Rose as the engineer and Jason producing. It was a good time, but difficult at the same time because we never recorded an album. There were songs like Mindtrap Double Stacked and like Hive that we did to a click, and they just didn't feel right. Even after we recorded them, it just didn't feel right. Because, I think those songs were meant to be freeform. Songs like Back Up and Endure and What a Day and all that was recorded and written to a click. Those other songs weren't. Those other songs weren't even structured like a song. We were just writing whatever and putting it together. But it was a good time. It was like 6 weeks. I did my drums in about a week, and then I went back to work until, I quit my job. Like I took off that week from work to go record the record, and everybody at my job was super excited. Elias had already quit. He had already quit his job. He already quit work. I was the last one to stay working, I think, in the band.
Was that your last job you've had?
Yes, I was an AC. I was working at an AC cleaning, duct cleaning company with Elias, and I just took a point. I answered phones, and Elias, he did the routing and stuff like that. But that was my last official job, and Nonpoint has been my job ever since.
So the album was released October 10th, 2000. So this is an actual 20-year anniversary.
Yes, on this October 10th, this Saturday is the actual date, 20 years from that day that we released it. And I remember I was in Knoxville, Tennessee, actually, on tour with Spineshank when I went to
Nice.
go. Were we on tour with Spineshank? Let me see. Wait. No, we're with Mudvayne and Ultraspank. I'm sorry. And we were playing the Moose Music Hall or something like that, or some place called Moose in Knoxville,
right.
Tennessee. Yeah, it was, and I went to the record store and it wasn't there. I was so bummed. I saw it a couple of days later at another record store.
Well, maybe it was sold out. That was the problem.
Maybe. Hopefully that was the case. But I mean, we were nobody really knew who we were back then. I think we did like 1,800 copies first week.
This is a debut at 166 on the Billboard 200. So in 2000, that was an achievement.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, just to be in the top 200 was amazing. So. But I think we've sold over 300,000 of that record. I'm not really sure.
Nice. Maybe this will push it over and you'll get that gold record.
Who knows? It'd be fun to get one finally. But if we don't get it, I'm fine. I'm completely content not having a gold record. I'm pretty happy I've been able. Like, I'd rather have my career that I still have and no gold record than have one gold record and then it be done. So I'm pretty happy that I've been able still to continue.
Yeah, Nonpoint's been a very career band. It definitely wasn't one hit wonder and went away. It's definitely, you guys put out an album, you put out, go on tour, and you continue to work and have an extremely strong fan base. Your fan base is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we really even had a hit, like to per se. I mean, we have songs that were on the radio, but I don't think we've never broken the top 10.
No.
I think the highest we ever got was 12 with What a Day, and I think we got like maybe 19 or 18 with Bullet with a Name. But those two songs are still huge staples and songs that everybody knows, even though they had never heard us, they'll know the song. And I think a lot has to do with that Raw versus SmackDown video game that had Bullet on there and Alive and Kicking. So, I mean, a lot of copies were sold of that. So we got a huge exposure on that game. But we're always going to be known as either the In the Air Tonight band, the What a Day band, or the Bullet with a Name band, which is cool. At least we got 3 songs instead of just one. So.
Right. Yeah. It's not, or 0 like most bands.
Yeah, true.
So what was some of the tours like on the Statement cycle? Who would you go out with?
The very first tour we did was with Glassjaw and Earth Crisis. That was like a 6-day thing. Then we we hooked up with Mudvayne and Ultraspank. Then we did Machine Head and Nothing Face and Endo. Then we finished the year with Head PE. Then in the new year, we did Spine Shank. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We did Kitty as well in 2000. Kitty and Factory 81. Something like that. And then we did a lot of one-offs. We did one-offs with Liquid Gang. Remember that band, Liquid Gang?
I don't know that one.
You remember that band? Them and Workforce Movement. We did shows with them. We did shows with Relative Ash.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then in the new year, we hooked up with Spine Shank and Mudvayne, and then we did a Spine Shank run, and then we did Stereo Mud, Head PE. I can't believe I remember all this. Head PE. Then we did some radio shows, and we did the Ozfest. Then we did a headlining tour with Switched and Reveille in Darwin's Waiting Room. And then we finished the year with Fuel and Seven Dust. So it was a hell of a tour. It was 18 months. 18 months we toured on that.
Let's go back to that machine.
I think we played Atlanta. I think we played Atlanta 8 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let's go back to that Machine Head Nothing Face tour, man. That sounds like a monster tour, especially in that era.
It was only 4 shows. We did San Diego, Vegas, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, and Flynn was like super sick. But it was great. It was great. I tease him a lot on that because I said, "How can you not remember my name when I'm named just like you?" He called me Tom one day, I think it was, some shit. But it was
dude,
fun.
we have the same name, and you spell it like him.
Yeah, exactly. I spelled it like him because of him. So I saw the 2 B's and I stole it. It was on a Supercharger record, I think, and Aru was the band at that time.
Yeah. What a great band. The you've talked about a lot, but just kind of that whole, you meeting Machine Head back in the day, and like, dude, I will come to the Bay Area and join your band yesterday, kind of thing. That's still one of my favorite Robb Rivera stories.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard that Contos was out of the band, they had Will Carroll, who's actually drummer for Death Angel right now. And I went up to Robb and I told him, and he doesn't even remember the story, which pisses me off. I told him, dude, I'll move to San Francisco tomorrow if you give me an audition. And if I get it, I will leave Florida. Back then it was just Nonpoint Factor. I really didn't have I didn't know Elias. I didn't know any of these people. I didn't know any of the guys. It was a completely different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have joined Machine Head, right then and there if he had given me the chance. But obviously, they got the beast of Dave McClain, so I guess they definitely did not need me. But he got one of probably the best drummers ever to come out in metal. But Yeah, that would have been cool. I would have loved to, and I always feel like I would love to do a little project with like a groove metal project, like a biohazard type of thing with Rob. I think that would have been cool. Danny
Oh
Schuler is
yeah.
one of my favorite drummers, and I would love to do something like that with him.
Was that long-haired Rob Rivera era?
That was long haired Rob Rivera, yes. Yeah, I had
Those
the
pictures are always so
locks,
great.
man. I had
Yeah,
those
you did.
locks, man, for sure. Now I can't even
Uh,
grow hair to save my life.
Too funny, man. Too funny. Just kind of looking back on it, getting in a room with these songs again. Some of these songs you guys probably haven't played in 20 years. Are there anything that you go back to and you're like, wow, that's awesome, or wish you would have done it a different way or anything like that?
No, I mean, I think when we wrote those songs, we're very passionate about them at that time. Like songs like Mind Trip, and Jason Bieler wanted to change. The song starts with "You're about to take a mind trip," and he wanted that to come back again to be the chorus. And thinking about it now, that probably would have been a good idea. But back then, those songs were so attached to the local scene that we didn't want to change them. I said, we'll write new songs and do the structures that you're talking about, but we don't want to destroy any of these songs. But so definitely no regrets with any of those songs. They still stand the test of time, and it was so much fun writing them, performing them back then, and performing them now. So I have no regrets with that record at all.
And anything that took you a little bit to relearn?
There were just certain structures that I had forgotten, but like I didn't listen to the record before I went rehearsing. I maybe listened to it maybe once or something. I just went in and as I was playing, it came back to me. Okay, there's a fill coming up. Everything came back to me. But
Nice.
Mind Trip is more like it's more like a physical. Wasn't about playing the part. It's about being how physical am I now to play it as that I was back then. Back then I was 30. I had all kinds of energy. I still have it, but except that when I finish the song, I'm ready to go to a stretcher. As about back then, I could just go and hang out and be okay. Now, not so much. But it was like I said, it was a challenge because the other guys had never played the songs, and Andy has such a unique style of playing guitar, but these guys have
Yeah.
done a marvelous job, getting the songs down and just listening to them play. It's like, and I close my eyes, it almost feels like Andy and Ken were in the room. It was really cool, but we'll see. I'll see how I feel Saturday night after the show. I'll text you and say, hey, I'm at the hospital.
The the one thing you were talking about earlier about had you joined Machine Head, now you would be 50 in Machine Head and trying to play that set now. You probably made a good decision going to Nonpoint.
That who knows? I mean, it's funny because I went to see them. That's the only show I went to this year was the 25th anniversary in Chicago, and seeing Chris play, and he's my age now,
Yeah, true.
and he said that he had not played those songs since he left the band, and honestly, it did not feel like he lost a step. I mean, he killed it that night, and super cool dude, man. And I got to hang out with Rob, and he got me sick because he was sick. I think we both had COVID. I never got tested for it, but I had all the symptoms of COVID.
Yeah.
And I had sinus infection, fever. At that time it was so early in the game that America hadn't shut down yet when I was sick, and it was exactly 2 weeks after seeing Rob. And I know Rob, I think he got an antibodies test, and I think he tested positive. So I think he definitely had COVID. He didn't test for COVID back then because there was hardly no COVID tests back then. They're not as available as they are now. They were not available back then. So, but yeah, he got me sick because he texted me not too long ago. I said, "Did you get sick after you saw me?" I said, "Matter of fact, I did." And then his tour manager tested positive for COVID. So I think him and Logan both had it, but there was no availability. Like he was saying to me that in Northern California, when he went to go get tested, there was only 400 tests available. So they didn't test
Oh
him.
wow.
So basically, I stayed in my room for. I didn't know if I had COVID, but one of my friends who her daughter got COVID had the same exact symptoms I had.
Yeah.
Everything. So I really feel that I was COVID positive. I just never got the test to prove it.
Yeah, we went to my wife and I went to San Francisco in February, and it was
I
funny.
saw that. Yeah.
Where we went and saw the Mr. Bungle reunion, and then we get home and it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, San Francisco is a hot spot for this new thing called coronavirus. We're like, great, the one place we go in the year, and we I don't think we got it then. I mean, I'm like everybody else. I think I got it in December, but there's no telling.
There's a lot of people that have told me they felt they got it in December, that they were that was the most sick they have been in their lives. So who knows?
Mhm.
I think my singer had gotten it as well because he was sick for a while. But
Yeah.
I had a really bad sinus infection and fever, some coughing. I was without breath, shortness of breath one night, which I went the next day and said, "Listen, man, I'm not feeling right." I went to the doctor,
Yeah.
but I didn't qualify for a test because my fever wasn't high enough.
Ah.
So I was 99.2, and you have to be 100.3 to qualify. I said, what about all this other crap that I have? So I don't know. I'm hoping if I did get it, I'm glad I survived it.
Yeah.
As not unfortunately, we've had a lot of unfortunate deaths in this country, and I'm glad I survived it. I'm glad a lot of like Chuck Billy survived it too. Gary Holt, all those guys
Yeah.
had it. We're all up there in age, man. So you never know. So I'm thankful that I'm still alive.
Yeah. Speaking of that, before we started recording this, we just found out the passing of Eddie Van Halen. What are your thoughts on the passing of Eddie Van Halen?
Crushed, completely crushed. I grew up on Van Halen, and as Alex Van Halen is one of my favorite drummers. Van Halen's one of my favorite bands. Obviously, Eddie Van Halen's top 3 guitar player, favorite of mine. It was just as devastating as hearing the Neil Peart passing in January. This year has been awful. Reed Mullen also from COC. Kobe Bryant. We've had so many shitty things this year. Like I read that today. My buddy Sean Glass sent me a text and told me, and I was like, I can't believe this. And then all of a sudden, I go on social media and everybody's posting. It's a horrible day, difficult day. Much prayers and love to the Van Halen family and fans and bandmates. An iconic guitar player that changed the game for everybody. And cancer, man, cancer sucks, dude. It's just horrible.
Yes, it does.
It's taken way too many lives, and I just I never got to see Van Halen live, and that just
I don't think I did either. No.
It crushes me, and just seeing like BC, my former guitar player. That's one of his. That was his guy.
Right.
And I texted him. I said, "I love you, brother. I know this is difficult for you." And then, it just sucks, man. It was awful news. I'm getting teared up because it sucks. It's horrible, especially with everything that's going on this year. To have that happen as well, it's just terrible.
Yeah, 65, man. That's the older we get, young, 65 is not too far off, man.
Yeah, 65. It's young, I think. Still, it's not old. And it's just, man, he had a long battle. He had a long battle. I think it was throat cancer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's horrible.
The latest report was the cancer spread a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So what else have you been doing kind of in this lockdown? I mean, this has got to be the longest amount of time you've been home in the last 20 years.
Yeah, this will be the first year in my career that I've not played a live show outside of, the online thing.
Yeah.
But we released a couple quarantine songs. We had a Live and Kickin' and Front Lines that we released. I started a drum channel doing covers. I've done a couple hip hop covers and this and whatnot. So now I'm going to delve into the metal side, and I think a Van Halen cover is due. I just
If you can get that double bass at the beginning of Hot for Teacher.
That's above my talent. That's way above my talent, man. I've never been able to. I've never done that in Rush. I've never been able to play. But yeah, we've been writing a lot of music. We always write music. And the thing is, this year we're not going to do much. We did have some announcements that we had to hold back on because of the COVID thing. But we really weren't. We finished the tour with Hell Yeah last December, and we didn't have really any plans. We're aside of maybe later in the year. We had 6 shows planned from August on, and just like August we had 1 show, September we had a show, November we had 2 shows, December we had a show. So we had to obviously cancel all that. But this online thing is going to be fun. At least we'll be able to share something with the fans and play for them in a different way. With nobody there, it's going to be super awkward. But
Right.
we'll try to make the best of it and see what happens. But maybe this will be something we can do again. I'm hoping that 2021 is different. We do have a festival next year, Rebel Rock in Orlando. That's the only show we have, and that's next fall. And by God, I hope by next fall everything's back to normal. Even though people are saying there's not gonna be any shows until 2022, so who knows, man.
So with this live thing, rehearsing, getting it all together, getting in one room, are there any other bells and whistles along with this? LED screens or anything like that going on?
No, it's just gonna be us jamming in a room. That's it. I believe that. No. We ain't got into the whole production thing. We might do another one and probably do it at a venue, or something. So, but it's just a what if. Like I said, there's actually shows happening here in Illinois. Adelita's Way is actually playing here next week.
Oh wow!
And then there's a couple like Michigan just opened up all their venues. So,
yeah, I think Tennessee is opening up a lot of venues and opening up, with no restrictions, things like that. So, places are starting to open up a little bit.
Well, we'll see. People are hungry for music. I get it. I don't know if I'm completely ready to go out there and do a show.
Yeah.
But I would love to. But it's just all these what ifs. It's just so much. That people plan a show. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I just hope something good happens out of all this. And hopefully, like next year, we do this.
So writing new music, things like that. But how much new music do you think you have?
We write all the time. We have a vault full of stuff, man. It's just we have it's funny you say that. I was going on my Pro Tools studio downstairs, and I'm like, man, I got endless amounts of riffs, endless amounts of drum ideas. It's just a matter of getting together and putting it together, So we have a bunch of new stuff. It's just we've been concentrating on these quarantine things and concentrating on these anniversaries and stuff. So, we'll have new music out at some point for sure.
And the Robcast Podcast, what's the status of that right now?
We have a new episode coming out Friday, talking all things statement, and it's just we've been busy with other stuff, so it's been hard for me to try to get some guests. So if anybody listening to us wants to be a guest on my show, by all means, please. Would you like to be my guest?
Yes.
Okay. You're booked. You are booked.
There we go.
I got my second guest.
No, man, but it's been fun to listen to you and actually, Rob Rusha and stuff like that, getting you guys together, and you got a nice little Rolodex of guests to reach out to. So it's been a fun listen, man. It's been good times listening to it. Thank
you, man. I'm hoping it grows more. It's hard to compete. There's so many podcasts out there. But to me, I look at it as I get to talk about music. I'm such a fan. I'm a fanboy. I know that, and I just love music, man. I love talking about it. Talking especially about thrash, old school metal stuff, So when I did my interview with Phil Demo, we got to dive into the Bay Area stuff. The same with Rob Flynn. I got to hear a lot of stuff that I didn't even know. So it was super cool, and Dave Ellison. All these guys, I'm hoping to get more old school thrash guys on the show. It's basically I want to talk Bay Area, but I want to talk to anybody. It doesn't really matter. I'm hoping it grows, man. I've had a lot of fun, so it's just I'm still new to the podcast game, and so and you have like an amazing amount of guests. I mean, I listen to your stuff all the time, and you have so many cool people. Like you and Flynn and Doc and Josta's podcast are the ones I listen to the most.
Oh wow, that's nice company to be in.
Yeah, I mean, Doc has had a lot of good people on there. I love listening to Flynn and Josta. I love his knowledge of the business.
Yeah,
And how he pitches stuff on the show. It's pretty funny how he used that show to pitch stuff, and that's how he got Dee Snider to do a solo album with him. And the record is amazing, and what a great job he did producing that record, man. Josta is a very talented guy and a super hustler, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, hopefully get him on here eventually.
I'd like to get him on the show. Yeah, I would love to get him on the show. I know he's just a busy guy, man. So we'll see.
Well, his publicist. So.
Yeah, I do.
and yeah, man, it's awesome, man. That's the cool thing about the show is like not too long ago, getting the email like, "Hey, would you like to have Dee Snider on your show?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like,
how was that? I don't think I heard that one. How was that?
That was awesome. He was super great.
Did you go down the Twisted Sister rabbit hole?
We did a little bit, but it was for his new For the Love of Metal live album, so we kind of stayed on that path. But I've told a couple of people this before, but he did this. My son, who is 5, who's about to be 6, when we get in the car, he's like, "Hey, I want to hear We're Not Gonna Take It," and then he wants to hear "I Want to Rock," and so he listens to that all the time. So he loves Twisted Sister. And so after the interview, I normally don't do stuff like this, but after the interview, I was like, "D, do you mind recording something for my son? Huge fan. He's 5, blah, blah, blah." And man, he did this like heartfelt, "Hey, your dad's an awesome dude for letting you listen to this music," and blah, blah, blah. So it was so cool of Dee Snider to,
and Dee is a fan of music. That's the awesome thing about it. He's also a fan of music, which is cool.
Yeah, he did it very dad-like too. He kind of shed the rock star thing for a second and just kind of came down to being a dad. It was so cool.
Awesome, man. That's awesome.
Well, cool. Anything else going on in the Robb Rivera world we need to know about?
Well, outside of the podcast and my drum channel and this live stream, that's about it, man. So, and I'm hoping to get more covers out there. Anybody has any suggestions, let me know. And basically the whole purpose of the channel is to me play songs that people may not think I would and play them as I was actually the drummer in the band, like basically write my own parts to the song. So that's one of the purpose of the channel. So far I've done a Post Malone track. I did a Post Malone track called Rockstar and had our guitar player Jason add some low end stuff on guitar, and it sounded really cool. So that's what I want to do. Kind of like, just change things up, just have fun. Yeah,
the Old Town Road one was really good. I checked that one out.
Oh, I had fun doing that one, and I just learned it right then and there at the studio. We were looking for a song, and I said, "Okay." Well, we did Stevie Wonder first, I wish, and then I we were looking for another one. And I started playing that one. My engineer Rob Risha looked at me. "Let's do that one." And I just learned it right then and there. Okay, cool. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this change here, and I did. I think in 2 takes. Pretty awesome. I did one. I didn't really like it, and I said, "Let's do it again." So,
got to do it till you get it right.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, Robb, man, thanks for taking the time. Nonpoint, 20 years of making a statement. Saturday, October 10th. Nonpoint.com for all of your information, and just appreciate you taking the time, man.
I appreciate you having me, man. You take care. I'll talk to you soon, and we got to have you on my podcast here soon.
Absolutely.
Okay,
anytime.
All right, brother. You take care.